Let's see if this thing over with.
I'd like to, I wanna get home.
Yeah.
I got company. Got wine to drink.
Could have brought it with you. Close to the next. What, give her this purpose? Yeah. Put those on. Water.
Can't turn it off, can you? I don't think you can mute it.
Think four is too many? For a meeting? Or you think 4 applications is too much for a meeting?
Yes. Especially complex ones.
See, these are, 3 of these should be straight. Yeah. Worst.
You think the most complex one is gonna be the first one, or the second?
No, we got 15 of them.
Yeah, is that gonna be the most complex one?
The first one, well. But we're not voting. Nope, stop. That's the stuff. Bring the water with you.
Yeah. In like, from 30.
Drove by the other day. You were right down in the gully. Shoveling.
No, no, I heard. No, James is the one that sold it.
My head. Yeah, you know, Kurt Oliver.
Yeah.
She was right down.
Oh, yeah, he does. He's the worker.
And was part of the corporation.
Yeah, he was, actually paid for LLC.
And local.
Well, most of the shareholders were in China. And she teach school in China, teach university.
A lot of foreign powers. Right.
That was a long time ago. They bought that in 2020. But she basically ran it, and they were just investors, and none of them gave very much, I think they invested 15 grand each, and they got the opportunity if they came to the States, to have a good place to stay in Maine.
There's another one that, Go, not the Go. Because you got one that never done it before. She raised the income by 30%. Then they turn around and sold the place. So she was out of town. She was really smart. My favorite is actually incredible. It's tough to be a mom and pop to run over.
Yeah, it is, but it's the only way to make any money. It's not a good investment from an investment standpoint.
It's like when I see somebody buy a restaurant, I say, what are you gonna do? This and then the other people did. And I never got good at this. If you don't have a good chef. Darby's was, if Jerry was still alive, I mean, he could have kept the chef and made the food with the missus. Then there was the workers brought the place. From the wife. And so the waitresses owned the place.
A couple of them. Corey and Lisa bought it. Yeah.
The waitress.
No. You may be thinking of Camp Nautilus.
No, it's the Darby's. I inspected the house. Ken bought the house, and her husband at the time was chef there.
Well, I'll find out. I know those guys. I know Lisa and Corey bought it. Well, at least like that was my understanding. And they kept most of the same people. But as far as the staff,
But the quality is not there.
no, I agree with you.
But I had, I think it was a salmon. Didn't like it. Used to like to get the head of Greek.
I remember that.
That was amazing.
Yeah. Greek seafood.
It's a seafood. Stuff. And they dropped it. So now the only place we go to down in Congress Street is Italian place.
Italian,
Hmm?
Delvino's.
Oh, you know. That food is still good.
It is, but they never changed the menu, so if it's boring.
Now, the angler got a new owner. The food was good before, it's still good.
Angler,
The angler.
oh, it's Searsport.
Searsport. And what's amazing, he was a genius. You never really had to wait. The food was always good. It was reasonable. And even when we sat down, he just had, and he has 3 of those places.
Yeah, the one up in Bangor, though, was on that's closed, and it was up for about a year, and then
And it's probably going to be private home.
I don't know. In fact, I looked at it today when I was going into the airport. It's still sitting there.
So I'm just looking at it.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's not nice. You want to put a fence around it, because of traffic. But what's interesting, the traffic isn't noisy. Because of the lights. Now, the building is attractive.
Yeah.
It was when it was first made, it wasn't a residence.
I took the kids to lunch at the Blue Baron today. In Camden, on the Wharf, Lions Wharf. He's the guy that grows blueberries and Hope. You know, they've got a winery there, and they make booze out of it. They make gin, vodka.
Really?
Yeah,
For the blueberries.
a lot of it is made from the village. Pretty good stuff.
And the Sweet Cheeks opened a meeting place over in Foxborough,
I saw that.
but, and because he overextended himself, because he had 3 places open, one in Ellsworth and one over past Foxborough. And the one in Ellsworth, I guess, closed because they couldn't find employees to work there. The original one is still going. I see what's quite a few people for breakfast, but that crowd is even slowed down. I guess the dinner crowds were not too happy with food.
Have you been to the one in Bucksport that used to be
Clouds.
in Clouds,
Yeah, there was one person happy,
which is called Stowaway now?
and the guy was, the owners come over to us, and it was this overzealous trying to sell it. And
He tried to get me to sell it for him.
the new one,
No, wait a minute. No, oh, I'm sorry. He wanted to buy the Wales 2 Club. And he made a contract.
the owner of the Clouds,
The owner of the Clouds now.
no, the new one.
The new one, yeah. But the terms were so ridiculous that I told him that no, he wanted to get an SBA loan. But he wanted to occupy the property while they're waiting for the SBA loan to go through, and he wanted the right to make all the renovations on the property prior to owning it. So I think, so we said, I don't think that's gonna fly.
I would think so.
No, he was unrealistic, but apparently that formula worked for him when he bought the Clouds, because he made a lot of changes in there before he even owned it.
Yeah, but did you go to the store?
No,
His menu was so overwhelming. They had so many things on the menu. You know, I forget what we ordered, it was okay. But it's like, how can you possibly have a menu that as big as it was, it has food involved?
yeah, it seems like they go 2 different ways. They have a menu that's underwhelming and a menu that's overwhelming.
But she had the feeling she was going to a bar. From before, you know, they had the bar on the whole side, but even that was sort of sophisticated. Okay, rates have got better. But she just felt like it was, I guess the owner made the place feel cheaper. They were just overzealous. It was like a friendly puppy that wanted to like it.
I think that's a good, I felt that way too. It's sort of like that.
And it kind of turned me, I didn't say anything, but it turned her off. Yeah, Darby's used to really be, I mean, even the ambience of the building, I like those open walls. That was nice. Okay.
I just had a few times with Jerry when he was around.
Pretty nice guy to deal with.
He was.
They had a lot of problems there at the tail end. He was quite sick.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Butler, how are you tonight?
Sandy, do you know Mr. Frank?
Yeah, I have met him a couple times, never in an official capacity. Sandy Cameron, nice to meet you, Frank.
Sandy is the newest select person.
Yeah, just some newbie, know one of those guys.
Take the night off to come see what we're doing.
Well, you know, it was in my mind when I took this position that I need to go around and go to every one of the board meetings just to see what all these committees and boards do. And I haven't really gotten into it yet, but I figured tonight should be.
That's
Oh, tonight will be a good one. Maybe, although usually they start lining
I
up.
hope it's.
I should too. I saw all those emails.
Just let you do your job.
We gotta be careful, the mics are on, by the way.
Oh, okay. Anyway, yeah, so I'm just here to observe quietly and
That's quite nice. Thank you.
see what happens.
I tried to talk him into running for the planning board, but he don't run that being appointed. He chose to be a select person instead. Hi, Nancy.
Well, I'm impressed with the approach you've taken to learn what's happening.
It's an awful lot, it seems like.
Yeah,
I mean, the different committees are very important, planning board. What's the select board is even more important.
and they get paid.
We get paid?
No,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
I haven't seen a paycheck.
well, look at it, but it's a stipend.
that's a bad terminology. That means they pay for your coffee when you don't have a big meeting.
I don't ask for a lot, that's what I'm confused.
So Nancy, we have a new planning board person. We'll be good this evening.
Okay,
His name is Dayton. Dayton, his last name is Hain, Haigny. Nice guy, huh? Retired position.
Aiken.
He's as an alternate.
You looked at the background of the planning board members.
No.
Well, the first one's coming in now, and it's
Might
self-explanatory.
be one of the. There he is.
Oh, yeah, it's not another scene. You can tag team and the local,
So do you think we can get through these in about 6 minutes each?
No, I don't think so. And if you would stop stirring up the whole community up there, we can probably get through a lot faster.
I'm just an unwilling participant. I finally got myself off of the distribution. And every, they asked for something and then they'd spread it to 15 other people. And,
No.
so you want it?
I kept getting the stuff,
I only sent you one.
but then there was a thread and they all happened onto it, I think. I don't know, I'm glad I got a bunch of stuff. I got one from Sandy too.
yeah, he kept addressing Sandy, so I stepped in by accident thinking you were addressing me. Forgot that you're. So by the time it was done, we were tag team. I mean, I was answering questions as well as I could, and things were just going.
Have you received a letter that stuck in the mailbox?
As a matter of fact,
I had one.
I did see that letter and I was a little, I don't think that's legal. I don't believe they can stop them a lot without going to the postal service. But
Yeah, they can, but they do.
somebody decided that they needed to do that, so. My wife had not been part of any of the conversations with me.
Now, where do
She
you
got
live?
that, she got that letter and she was quite upset.
Where do you live?
I'm up 107, down where the old Poggle place is.
Yeah,
So, yeah, it's been a pretty busy little neighborhood lately.
I can put the Chicken Little Crew.
I said the mic is on.
I don't care.
I knew you did.
You're not wrong. I mean, this seems to be way too much emotion and not a lot of.
I had 2 calls last night. One from my cousin, one from one of your neighbors. And, geez, you know what's going on? Yeah. Rosie Gary was one of them. Norm Carver was the other one. Both, he's my cousin. He lives exactly 1 mile from my house. He's got the tractors in the driveway. He's also got a Toyota sitting up back that he's waiting for the title for because Jerry Carr, when he passed, left the Toyota to the post-30 Legion. Norm's got it. He's applied for title for the thing. And he paid an expedited fee. So he got it.
Hi,
You
we
realize,
got through the 2 weeks.
With that,
We got through the 2 weeks.
that's encouraging.
Yep. So now we won't know anything until November. It's-
Always something.
Oh, yes.
I just lost in North last week.
Well, when you hit 80, it seems like it's.
Well, she had 83, so
Too bad.
I didn't know if she was ailing. I had seen her earlier in the summer, but she was in hospice.
I went to a funeral on Saturday. Have to lose friends at this age.
In over. You're not here.
So Sandy, you expect a lot of your,
I'm sorry,
you expect a lot of your folks from Youngtown Road here?
they, my folks,
Well, your neighbors.
if they didn't appear, I'd be totally shocked.
I wrote one of our last messages to the Fed was. It's in the planning board's hands, and code enforcement and planning board will rule against the town's ordinances and state law.
That's pretty much what I
So they
said.
said they're going to have a meeting on Wednesday night. I'm curious.
What is that for?
Huh?
When was that?
Oh, they were having all sorts of hands up in the air, and you think that people, you think there's a ceiling room up there.
I told you, it's going crazy.
Yeah, there you go.
It was in my mailbox,
Very good one there. I agree.
6 pages, 5 pages.
Gives you good flavor. We all got it. See what it is going on.
I told them, I told one of them, this is, don't assume that everyone on this road shares their views.
Oh, no, that's. We gotta talk about the changes to the ordinance.
No,
I was just saying, basically, in general, state law and ordinance are gonna be aimed against whatever being applied up there, and that would be that, whether you disagree with it or not, that's a different process. I didn't say that, but more or less insinuated. There's a process that's being followed.
will they have to apply for a change of use to crew beer?
That's gonna get planning board, but you stop and think about it. They have wine, they have hard cider,
And I asked her when she started doing that,
well,
would she have a new beer? She says, most likely.
so if you take a look at it, the beer is the lesser of the three, each the five equals 6 of them. And so what does it mean, they're changing the building, they're adding a boiler, and the purpose of the boiler,
Oh,
they need to heat.
But the smell and what was the other thing? The noise. And
I'll let you, we have the specs on the boiler type there.
Yeah.
So you have to say, what is the noise level at the property line?
Yeah.
If it's so quiet, then you're gonna have a building around it anyway.
There's a letter right there in front of you from Tina and
Tina's got the whole description of it, so you can see that the impact of, I don't know.
oh, I know.
But to answer your question, she has a general liquor license.
Yeah,
It's a license.
Yeah.
Well, I think that an appropriate question would be was your license cover the brewing of beer, and if it does, then that's it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Mr. Haney. Hi, come on in. No, you're sitting on the end here when. Don't you even try to get away with that. Dayton, that's Mr.
Hi.
Sandy
Sorry, the other night.
Cameron.
Yeah, thanks for,
oh,
stepping up, appreciate it.
this our new guy?
Yes, Dayton, Sandy, Dayton, Nancy. Nancy is the scribe. Dayton Haney, this is Frank Terrio.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
I don't know what the hell you were. I'm sorry. Are you grooming him for something?
And you're a lot smarter than I am.
And the microphones are currently active as well as being recorded on the internet.
Some extra access, so.
You said it.
No,
That was at my meeting.
Revised ordinance There's some here. That's what, is it 2026?
No, you got the old one, so it's. Skin it.
I got a copy.
Get the on.
This is the new one.
Oh,
Only difference is, what we're going to talk about. Oh, it'd be much better. Well, I did not know that.
There's such, well, I couldn't be able to get the global news.
Hello. Yeah.
Good job.
This is Daisy. The guy. The guy.
From Yellen, okay, just.
Kind of my thing, just real.
It's a new
This is part of the.
Yeah.
System up.
Oh, what's this? That goes in the back of. Did you get the name of the ordinance?
No.
You're on second. That's why there were two there. You got one, right?
Nope. You what?
What is that?
I'm a new alternate. I got on some place. John.
No.
If you all good at that from our last.
That's original. That's, what does the date say on the bottom? 23? Yeah, this one. 26. Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Howdy.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Not I.
Joan. that's Dayton Haynes, okay,
Thank you.
there you go. Okay. That's it. Yeah, replace it. Yep. There's. Oh, this goes in the back of it. Right, yeah, they got the wrong, that's.
My y'all signing. It's what we, it's what we've. Okay.
Oh, no, that's a good, so you're good, you don't need to. Somebody will need it. I think that.
Yeah.
Back page.
Okay. I didn't, but I have one here. So I see it sat down.
All right. That's an amendment, to do it down order. You didn't get it. So I. Yes.
Seems.
I didn't have that. We just. Okay.
You got it.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right, so that's that. This is that. But. I'm not gonna let them.
Seven, I'd be on. Paperless society.
Well, they weren't quite. Hey, and another one was that you know, robots.
I pity the poor.
Questions. They always seem to know the answers, but it's still.
My. That works, but the new one, which I'm gonna be on, says.
In this case, we don't have to check. I know it's working on stuff.
Yes, and also,
It's no, it's out on to.
yes, but sometimes it doesn't hurt. But in this case, because he's already on one to this. Who hired a company that it looks like he's really done the homework to do it right.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the case.
Oh, it's something. Yeah.
It's my first trip out of the house today.
Alrighty.
I've been a big one here.
Yeah.
Some of them.
Bigger meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Where are you going?
But I had ties here before. There had, you know, came.
Not a plan.
Ex-husband.
No, you're waiting.
So long ago, before.
Yeah.
And now I'm married to a native. So I'm even related to that guy over there through. We're related to.
We're gonna be.
One of the active members is not here.
Right. It's so that we can always have them on. But you have to be.
I got it. I got it.
Jan's code didn't involve. I didn't do this. But you all use those things, and that's what you'll see. I haven't ever seen you. We usually try Look up on some websites. to find out if the reason for the didn't seem like it was gonna be an issue, so they did. If it very long.
When I looked at this, I kind of checked, the old version. I guess you can see what, the subsection. Yeah,
Yeah, I was going.
Well, they did. yeah, so they gave you the new one. Right?
Yeah. What do you mean? Okay, so wait, let me see.
Right there.
Right,
Yep.
yeah,
Perfect. right
which
on
is
top.
still just at the back of this section.
Good.
So it's 6 o'clock. I'd like to call this meeting to order, please. This is the Wednesday, August 26th, 2026 meeting of the planning board, town of Lincolnville. Called to order. And we have a number of agenda items this evening, so I'll try to get to them pretty quickly. First thing on the agenda is to discuss, before we do that, what I'd like to do is introduce the folks here so we'll know who we are. Starting at the end.
I'm Dayton Hegney, I'm an alternate.
Joan Richardson, member.
Dick Vermeulen, member. Earl Brown, member.
Dick Butler, chair.
Frank Carrier, code officer.
Sandy Delano.
Nancy Weezer, scribe.
So, two housekeeping items before we get started, please. One is the review of the minutes of the last meeting on July 29th. I'm assuming everybody has looked at them, additions, corrections.
Okay, make the motion to accept the minutes of the meeting of July 29th, 2026 as presented.
Second the motion.
Any comment?
No.
All in favor? Okay. We have a new member of the planning board, this member is Dayton Hagan. Dayton is an alternate. When there if there's a vacancy or one of us is absent on the board, he will take over. Right now, alternates are allowed to take they're allowed to participate in the meetings, but they're not allowed to vote unless they're called on to take the place of a missing meeting. So that's Mr. Haney. So. Second order of business is there's a small change in our documentation. At the time we made the agenda for this meeting, we were using the old land use ordinance. The current land use ordinance was voted into effect by the townspeople on 6th of June, the 9th of June. So that's the one we'll be using. And the only change as far as this meeting is concerned is that every reference on the agenda that shows section 18, subsection 18 is also now going to be section 17, subsection 17. And we'll be referring that throughout. I think the first 3 items on the agenda will require us to look at that subsection. So, with no further ado, the first item on the agenda is Tina Dalton is requesting an amendment to add a steam boiler to the existing structure at 368 Youngtown Road to allow for beer production there, and it's at map 25, lots 44 and 45. And I wanted to get a lot of interest in this. I just want to make sure that everybody understands that this is an application for the existing brewery facility. Is that correct?
The winery production facility, I think it really is important to remember, there are 2 properties on Youngtown Road. 367 is now Cellar Door Farm, operated and owned separately. Cellar Door Winery, myself, still owns 368 with a sublease over to Ann Kaplan and Freedom's Edge. 2 distinct owning operating situations over on Youngtown Road.
Appreciate that. Would you be kind enough to step to the podium and tell us what we're going on?
The proposal in front of you is to add an 80 square foot space on the southwest corner of the building. We looked at options for doing this in an inboard capacity in the existing mechanical room. And the spacing on the building, which I think you have in your diagrams and attachments, mean the tangential space of that and the line poles and the economics of doing it from the inboard mechanical room in the property are prohibitive. And so what we're looking to do is do this outboard boiler space, and so that it connects right into where this production would be done. If I were in your shoes, the two questions that I considered were noise decibels, and so that wouldn't impact the neighbors. And we've done the specifications on that. Andy can share those. And we felt like that wasn't going to be any change or impact to our neighbors. And then how we were going to handle any concerns about fire production and all those kind of things. So those were our big questions as we did it. And there's Andy Kaplan, who can compliment anything like that.
The current use of that building is for, the license says winery, but is that correct?
It's winery production, yes.
Does that also include beer production?
It does not currently.
So what we're looking at today is not an approval to do beer production there. We're looking at an approval only to install.
Add the boiler, yes.
Yeah, I want to get that clear for everybody.
Are you all here for this? Oh, this is gonna be fun. How come? Am I allowed to ask them that?
Let me get to that.
I think you covered that when you said that this is not the barn, this is the other side of the road, which is nothing to do with that.
No.
It's been divided.
Okay. Just a minute.
Could you ask the speaker to identify herself, so some of us don't know who everyone is?
I'm sorry, who?
Could you ask anyone who comes to the podium to identify?
I mentioned that the team is open.
Okay, I didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
Yes.
So I'm Bettina Dalton. I am the owner of the property at 368 Youngtown Road, which is the production facility up the hill. I no longer own 367 Youngtown Road, which is the property that has the farmhouse, the tasting, the pavilion, and the vineyard. That the properties were separate, and now we have a new owner of 367 Youngtown Road. And I have no association with that anymore.
So before we get into much more, we'd like to find out if the members of the board have any questions of you first, then we'll go to the audience. That's okay.
No question.
No, I have no questions, pretty straightforward, as far as I can say.
Okay. We also have a letter from Andy Kaplan, and he is, I'm sorry, what's your?
Hi, I'm the owner of Freedom's Edge Cider, so I'm a key tenant in the building. I've been producing my hard cider there since 20.
I see, thank you. And this talks about the decibel level, so that's what you just mentioned.
Yep.
The only other question I might have is that with beer production, is there anything different from winery production, perhaps in the like odors or the noise?
That building is built for production, and it's state of the art. So, and remember, most important, and you know what, that nobody can appreciate, and Andy, jump in here, is what we did with the biobarrier system. We invested a lot of money in 8 years ago, 9 years ago, which is how we all of the water and byproduct handling out of that building. We have a biobarrier system that we brought in from California. So the water and byproducts that come out of that are going through filters and then going through a leach field and come out cleaner than the water that goes in, which we're pretty proud of. Expensive investment.
The building that this will be housed in, are you gonna put any noise buffing in there? Because 65 to 70 dBA is quite loud.
This is going to be this space for the boiler is going to have surround on it.
It is.
Mhm.
Okay, so that the dBA of 65 to 70 is not what we would hear standing outside the building. You have any idea what that would be?
No, I haven't done that work. We can come back to you.
So it sounds like it's gonna be reduced quite a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
a noise definition is whether something is in violation or is measured at the property line, sustained for 1 hour. Okay, so, but 65 to 70 at 5 feet away, by the time you get the property line, that would have been diminished to be more like maybe 45 to 50. The reason I asked the question is by taking and surrounding that, it's a noise deafening what it amounts. What it does, it would take it no longer 65 to 70, it would probably be down to 25, 30 dB, which is not loud at all. Okay.
Yep.
Now, if there was a complaint, if a valid complaint that it was excessively loud, then you would call the town office and we would take and check to see if it was a violation. If that were the case, then we would talk to the applicant and say, okay, we need to take another step to reduce the noise even more so. Okay, so your interest is covered there, and that's at taking the step to put the buffering in there. They didn't have to. That is a step to make it so that it's not offensive to you. Okay. If you have a complaint on criteria, I won't give you a phone number. But it's not office, they'll transfer it to you. Okay.
I've always made sure that I drive by that property, not during peak hours. There were times that when we do, it's really when we got into crush period during peak production season in the fall. And that's when you would have the crush production, the crush machines working. And that you had to deal with the grapes when they came in and they were fresh and those kind of things. I always tried to go by there to see what kind of hum we were getting off that building. And my biggest challenge, honestly, over time is if my team was leaving the music on. I would drive along Youngtown Road and listen to see, and it was usually when they were cleaning up at night that they had the music on. So my biggest challenge was having them turn the music down. So as you rode along Youngtown Road, they weren't bothering anybody. So we've always been pretty sensitive about that one.
So I'd like to ask the audience if anybody would like to make a comment, have a question from Ms. Fulton. Now's the time to do it. Would like to keep it pertaining to this specific application. This application is to construct a boiler, add a boiler and construct an 8x10 structure that will hold it. And that's what this application is for. If you have comments, questions about that, I'm most happy to entertain them.
I'm not sure, there might be some overlap, but I would just like more clarification. So the other owners own the vineyard and the pavilion and all of that, that they do their bottling at your facility?
So the production facility, so the owner of Cellar Farm, the 367 Youngtown property, is a gentleman and his wife, Matt and Evelina Haskell. They come from Blaze Restaurants and Blaze Brewing. Any relationship or work that they would have done would have to be contracted in to the production facility up, and they would be basically contracted in. They are not an operator up there. Freedom's Edge as is the operator up there.
And so you're applying for a boiler in anticipation of brewing beer.
Freedom's Edge is going to be brewing beer.
Beer.
Yes.
Not the first, not the latest.
Right.
You.
Correct.
Are you doing it? Is Blaze going to be brewing for Blaze?
Blaze could well be a customer, and I think they probably will apply to be a customer. We're doing it we're creating getting the beer license and hoping to put the boiler in. Really for the larger issue that we discussed the last time I came to planning board, which is that as Freedom's Edge was operating the building, our production wasn't big enough for the size of the building. And as Bettina has gotten out of the winemaking business, we've now expanded our space and covering the whole building. And so we utilize that building, we look into doing co-packing business for other producers, and we have 4 or 5 producers that we have around the state, mostly local. And we make cider for them, we do wine, we've not done beer in the past. Looked at the opportunity of co-packing this, we really, most of the demand is for beer or co-packing. Now, it happens that Blaze, former Blaze Brewing, who owns that building, is no longer licensed to produce beer on their own, because they bought that building, they no longer have a license to do beer. So I would fully expect them to come to us, though they don't have to, I would fully expect them to come to us and ask them to produce beer for them on a contract basis. Sell them, but they won't, none of the people would be, so they won't be.
Are you anticipating that? What is the capacity of the boiler that you're installing? I mean, is it something that can handle multiple types of beer?
I have to apologize a little bit in advance because I'm a big cider and these guys. I did have one of my chief production person was a brewer at Shipyard for many years and experienced it. Of course, he decided to have his first 87 days ago. In the NICU and they're now home, but he couldn't get tonight. So I can probably provide him, with the answers that would be more accurate than mine. I know the size of the boiler is about 2.5 feet by 4.5 feet. I know I provided on the application, I remember offhand the BTUs with the boiler, but it's essentially enough to operate a 15-barrel growing system. Size is the barrel of beer is 31 gallons, so it would be about a 500 gallon. So it's enough to heat up the mash to cause the starches from the beans to come apart to allow the raw beer to pick up the alcohol. So it's enough to do about 500 gallons.
And to put that in perspective, 500 gallons at a time, if you go through that winery facility, there are probably how many 2,000 gallon existing tanks in there?
15.
Fractional of what has been done in that building as far as winery is concerned.
Percentage increase into a production you would expect from that boiler. From what you're making now, what's the increase that adding?
Yeah, I mean, it's of course going to depend on how successful we are in marketing. Just for scale, our existing volume this year will be about 50,000 gallons for Freedom's Edge. Our hope is that we could add another 10,000 gallons to our co-packing business in total, and maybe half of that would be beer, so maybe 5,000 gallons. Beer 7,000 gallons, like that. That's the scale of what we're doing. So we expect to be brewing about twice a month to get to that scale.
But remember, there's 11,000 gallons of wine in tanks right now, and that's going to zero.
Oh,
It's going to zero. Cellar Door Winery is not going to be producing anymore.
Are.
No, it's over. It's over. No. Oh, I don't know what they're going to do, but Cellar Door Winery is going to be liquidated.
Sir, you have a question, sir? I do. What type of fuel or fuel?
It would be propane.
Propane, which is the existing,
will you use any additional water to make the beer versus the wine?
Yeah.
In what capacity water? Because I know many of us commented on communication about we're in a drought and we are concerned with our wells beside you or down the road. That is a concern for us. And it does get.
Yeah, the use of the steam boiler itself, the water is fairly minimal, but beer production, unlike cider and wine production, base is most water. So we would be, per batch, 500 gallons of water. The well that Gina has is 25 gallons a minute. So we would clearly have to is to if we're brewing beer twice a month, we'll be gradually fill the tank, over the course of 2 weeks, so that they were just turning in on one day.
Andy, we might need to look at a system similar to what's built in downstairs at 367, which is we have holding tanks down there. And we've always had holding tanks down there in the basement, in mechanical rooms in the 367, which I don't own anymore. There are holding tanks to ensure that we had water, and so obviously it was ready for that building. So it wasn't a poll, given that you wanted to be ready for guests.
Is there some kind of a study that's been done about water usage and what, how much water is really available to you and to the other residents of Youngtown Road,
Yeah, no, I haven't done that.
No.
So is somebody going to do that?
What is the status of our aquifer? Does anyone here know?
What?
The status of our aquifer, what's the health of our aquifer? Has anything been looked at recently?
Well, I think you get a yardstick is the fact that how many years they've been in business and how much they have used without any problem.
That's not an answer. What are you pulling in your for your operation?
For the current operation,
We don't know that, but you're asking for a boiler system for beer. Which is about 4 or 5 times more intense water usage, and what you quoted would come out to the minimum $35,000 a batch, 35,000 gallons a batch. Times
No.
5 times 7, 500 times 7, 35,000. 3,500.
So we're really getting way ahead of everything right now, man. Yes, we are, I'm sorry, when
It's gonna be like, well, we've already put it in.
no, that's not the way it works. No. The way it works is right now they're asking for the boiler. When they get the beer license, they're gonna come back before the board. And at that point, we can discuss all of those things. Right now, it's a boiler.
Why would we not discuss the water before we okay the boiler? That seems quite opposite to me.
Because we don't know what it is.
It's a lot of money. What happens if it doesn't happen? What happens if the water is low? We've been in a drought for 2 years. Every month this year, except for June, we've been in a drought. We've had 6 inches less water this year. We're in extreme drought at this point, according to the USDA. So how is this responsible?
Okay, the point they're making is if they were requesting to make it tonight, your point is right on. Yes, they should have the verification of what the applicant. Right now, the applicant is only asking to locate something, not use it. It doesn't matter. That does not matter. She's allowed to apply this to her property. Now, if she comes back to say, I want to use it for something now, then we need the additional information. But she does not have to use it.
And may I ask where the additional information comes from? Who is responsible for overseeing this?
We're not talking about that yet. No, that's your opinion. That's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. The fact is, the only thing the applicant has applied for is to put a furnace in place. That's it. It's not even going to be turned on.
She would build it if she wasn't gonna turn it on.
When it's not, you're not listening.
You're not listening. We're saying the issue of the water. And you're blowing us off.
No, I'm saying when they come back, that is the point of time they need to deliver what you're asking.
With hydrology reports and aquifer reports and whatever else. That's the second step, man. Okay, right now we're looking at a boiler.
Thank you for that. I appreciate
You're most welcome.
And to clarify, when would I have to provide that information?
Before you can start beer production.
Really? On what basis?
On the basis that you've got a license to do wine, you're getting another license.
It's not a change of use. It's not a change of use.
It's a different industry.
Let me please answer, man. Thank you. It basically is a change of use.
Okay. Good to know.
Any other questions? Okay.
Yes.
So,
Let me ask you. Start things. Tina, how long do you expect construction to last for the building and put in works?
What is that gonna be? Like a 4-day project, right, Andy?
I don't know.
yeah.
It's gonna be about a 4-day project.
Good to know. And once the winery or the cidery is up to here, so. Do you know how many more traffic we can expect on the road?
For production? This is not gonna be a significant change.
A lay of the land. And
Have you got a sufficient lay of the land at this point?
I think so.
Perfect. So we'll cut off the comments. So it's up the board now. We need to look at the submission. In terms of, let me read this so we understand. It says the board shall determine if the proposed revision or amendment to the previously approved plan would have no materially significant effect on the standards outlined in section 10, 11, and 12 of the commercial site plan ordinance. So my question to my board members is, if anybody have any question regarding number section 10, which is submission requirements, and submission requirements in your opinion been properly submitted?
I looked at it, I don't have,
Say it again?
I looked at it, I have no.
No question, anybody? So second one is standards and criteria. Section 11, subsection 11 is parking, stormwater rights. It's actually standard criteria section. It talks about parking, stormwater rights management, any issues along those lines. No. Okay. And section 12, building design and the impact standards. That would be where the noise issue comes in. And we're okay on the noise.
We've already discussed it.
Already discussed it and been advised of that. So if that's the case, I would like to suggest a motion that we accept the application as presented.
I will second.
I'll second that. The discussion. All,
Who's second?
all in favor?
One second. I guess at this point, I'm saying yes.
Done. Thank you very much. Ms. Bolton.
Thank you.
Thank you. You guys have finished. If anybody would like to stay for the rest of the meeting, most welcome, but I want to take a few minutes.
For a boiler. A boiler has nothing to do with that.
No, it's just that because.
Nice.
I guess that's the difference.
That's why we're and make a more.
I'm letting them leave.
Oh, boy.
Okay, we're ready to proceed. So, Mr. Lane.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Lane, you are presenting for Gartley and Dorsey. It's Camp Forest is requesting a free application to discuss an amendment adding a food service bar and correcting a deck at Whitney Road, map 17, lot 7. I would like to just make sure we all understand that this review pre-application meeting, that decisions are going to be made on this tonight.
Absolutely.
Let me sure everybody understands. So we'll hear what you have to say and then we'll tell you what you have to say.
Very well. Good evening. I'm Bill Lane, Lane Gorski Engineering and Survey. Also present tonight, Brady Brim DeForest, Principal of Camp DeForest LLC. Yeah. And as you described, we are seeking application to amend the site plan and hold a pre-app to discuss the changes proposed and underway at Whitney Road, map in lot 7, which is 4.3 acre parcel in the northwest corner of Whitney Road and Atlantic Highway in the general district. So the property is improved with a historic motor inn and additional lodging buildings and a lodge. It's been in operation since the 50s, I believe, if not earlier. Recent energy has been interjected into the property, and it is being renovated to include a food service and bar in the lodge building. The physical changes would be within the lodge building and the construction of a 12x20 deck behind the lodge for seating and gathering space associated with the bar. In addition to those changes, we would just be verifying that we have adequate on-site wastewater disposal capacity and checking some material towards that end to ensure we're compliant with all the provisions of the ordinance. But certainly are interested in your comments as we proceed.
Okay. So, anybody have any questions for this one?
12x20 deck is really all you're constructing at this time? Right here?
Outside the building, that's the extent of the construction.
Design, I mean, is it a covered, is it something, are they gonna have any music out there? How would that affect the neighborhood at all?
So, and Bill, feel free to jump in here too. The plan presently is for the deck to have some money, so there would be essentially, and this is not yet finalized, so it's detailed, something like a big sale, essentially, that would cover the deck off of the building. The deck itself, is back of the lodge, so it has both the north facing wall of the building as well as the rock embankment. So it's kind of cozy in there, so I don't expect there to be a lot of impact in terms of noise travel. And I don't expect that we would have outdoor speakers or anything like that.
Okay.
Can I ask you, is this going to be open to the public, or are you doing it primarily for your guests?
Yeah, good question. So it is open to the public, that's our intention, but it's primarily designed to service. Yeah, primarily designed to service guests. Yes, that's our first audience. We're very happy with that is part of the overall intent.
Well, one of the things that I think we would like to see is how you can handle additional parking. You're going to be opening it up to the public. It's something that's sorely needed in Lincolnville, but I'd like to see how you're going to actually take care of that traffic and noise and lighting would be two other issues that we'd like to have addressed.
We're putting it on our list.
Okay. I think you had some comments that you wanted to make.
Yeah, first of all, with the increase of traffic, you will need a DOT approval. First thing you need. Now, from what I understand, you already have music taking place there.
Yes.
Which is, I have the entire commercial site plan that has not been approved. Okay, so at this point in time, that is a violation.
Understood.
So it has to stop at this point. The other issue was what are you going to do with the lighting the part of the outside. You're gonna have a deck outside, you're gonna have outside lighting, what type of lighting, it's gonna have to be down shaded. There can't be light pollution taking place, because the neighbors are very sensitive in that neighborhood. There's a very, very long history of violation of music all the way across the route. And the lighting was a very heavy impact. So that's something that's has to be considered. And your parking, we're gonna need to have, not only parking, your building has got to be ADA compliant. That includes your bathroom facilities, access to it, the whole 9 yards.
The question about the food service, that was not approved before, was it?
No, no food service has been approved, and the deck you have on the front, that was only a receiving deck for people to stand during COVID to get inside. Now you've turned that into the drinking and dining area. That's also a violation right now. That needs to stop. Well, those are the key things that really have to be addressed. And I assume you have the license that's going, you have food and lodging license?
Yes, we do.
Okay. And liquor license?
Yes, we do.
Now, that liquor license, does it describe inside sit-down drinking as well as outside?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so we will need a copy of that.
Absolutely.
Those are the main issues that would have to be addressed when you come forward to request these different things. Like 500.
I would expect there wouldn't be any additional stormwater issues.
Correct.
That would be okay, because they're not increasing the loose space, which is going to increase the possibility of flooding. That's okay.
Anybody have any other questions, comments?
The only other question I may have is the lodge that you're gonna renovate for the food service and bar. Is the exterior of that gonna change any from the way it is presently?
That's the addition of the deck.
Okay,
What's the amount of seating that you're looking to have in the lodge?
So, upstairs, there are 8 seats, we're on a meal table, and 5 seats, in the, just directly to the left when you come in the door. And then there are additional in and outdoor tables on the, floor.
And your hours of operation would have to be identified.
So, we would anticipate that it would be open 7 days.
Would you be doing food service indoors and outdoors?
Correct.
They would need to.
Yes, but we wasn't permitting.
Yeah.
All year long.
Yes, that's it.
What's your specialty gonna be?
dogs. They may be hungry.
So beautiful.
See, that's not there it does. That's all I have. That's all I. Put that.
Anybody else have anything? Well, do you have a suggestion, sir?
I appreciate that. Thank you.
We look forward to seeing you the next time.
Thanks very much for your time this evening. Look forward to seeing you again.
Thanks.
Thanks, Frank. Give you a buzz.
I could ask about water use.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah.
You saw them.
Yeah.
Seems to be a lot of
Somebody has to.
I don't see it.
Well,
Oh, well, it's thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
You're probably started.
Well, I said hello.
I have a separate book for that. The number of them, how to do it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So much for the 6 minutes.
Yeah, I got it.
All right, so Next item on the agenda is so Van Lanning, how are you? Good. Mr. Lanning is requesting adding an amendment to the Lincolnville Storage LLC located at 539 Slab City Road, map 31, lot 3. Mr. Lanning, Sam Lanning will be presenting. Yes.
Ready?
I'm sorry, yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah, Sam Landing, Lincolnville Storage, 539 Slab City Road, like Dick mentioned. What I'm trying to do is amend a current commercial site plan to add a 2,000 square foot garage space to the property. The last meeting I was asked to put together, because we are making such a change to the property, that I get an engineered site plan to account for that new building and how it relates to stormwater runoff with the old building and the current site conditions. So I contracted Garland Dorsey to come through and finish that up, which is what you guys have in the submissions there. There's kind of a lengthy, complicated stormwater analysis, but there's a summary that that kind of breaks it all down, which is really nice. And ultimately, what it's saying is that post-construction, provided it's built as per those plans in front of you, will have actually less stormwater runoff to that adjacent stream than before, or sorry, yeah, less than even before construction. So there'll be a savings on stormwater runoff into that adjacent stream, even post-construction. That's done so with a small retention pond, some riprap, and some other details on that plan. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
So this also falls under section 17 land use ordinance and subparagraph subsection 7.11. Determine the proposed amendment have any material effect on the standards outlined in subsection 10, 11, and 12 of the land use ordinance in section 17. So I would like to ask the board if they looked over this submission, see if there are any suggestions in terms of the submission requirements in section 10 of the committee that they provided what we've asked for.
I agree with you. Yeah.
Standards and criteria in section 11. 11.3 stormwater management and 11.4 erosion control seem to have been addressed with the map, the rendering from anybody have any questions on that?
No, but it's very fine print and I couldn't read it.
If I did two of the 24 by 36, I get two more in the truck if you want.
I guess I want. In terms of the building under the section 12, the proposal that you wrote up said it will not have any exterior lighting.
That's correct.
Anything else we should know about that building other than it's big?
2,000 square feet. So got garage door on the front. You guys have the some elevations of what it's going to look like. It matches the colors and other existing structures that are on site, which are the two buildings. If I can get a supplier to provide the same color door, otherwise it's going to match. Might have white doors compared to green doors like the rest of the storage units on site, but I got to be specific with this stuff. Otherwise it's going to match what's there. And the elevations, I think you guys have, that is the approved, my approved plan for the colors and dimensions. So,
okay. Sam, what do you have for fire protection?
I don't have fire protection.
You don't have any fire protection?
No, same as the storage buildings. There's no fire protection.
Is there electricity to the units?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, there's lights on the existing buildings. Yeah, I mean, there are arc fault breakers.
They're circuit protected. But I don't have sprinklers.
Well, I didn't explain like
Fire extinguishers?
fire extinguisher or.
Yeah, so there's gonna be some, maintenance to my equipment goes on in that shop, so it's consistent to anyone's garage, it's gonna have fire extinguishers. Marked exit, that kind of stuff. It's not open to the public space, it's just,
Far away from closest fire. From the fire phone.
right up the street, less than a half mile.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I do too, yeah. Yeah, pulled a lot of water out of there.
Any water in that pond behind you?
What pond that?
I think I referenced the pond where we run off.
Retention pond, there'll be only water in it when it rains, I guess. It's designed to sort of essentially act as like a level lip spreader. It's gonna take whatever water comes out of that. I think it's a 15-inch culvert there, retains and will hold and withdraw any sediment from it. And then clean water effectively is gonna overspill and then sheet flow back to the wooded buffer that exists 75 feet from the stream. So there's plenty of runoff absorption area there before the stream.
You covered all of that previously.
So it's a 2,000 square foot building.
Correct.
That's gonna increase stormwater runoff dramatically, and this system is designed to take care of that.
Yeah, Garland Dorsky did all the numbers on it. Did you look at the summary, Dick?
I did.
Okay, yeah, so in that summary specifically indicates, I get it. So pre-development was 7.48 cubic feet per second into that stream. Post-development, provided it's built as per the plans, of course, is 7.05. This reduction of almost 0.43 cubic feet per second reduction of water entering that stream after development than pre-development.
Okay, here's my next question. What's your process in developing? What's your time frame and what gets done first, or second, or third, or what?
The first thing that's gonna happen would be building that retention pond. I mean, that is definitely the most sensitive topic, is the stormwater retention. So the first thing that's gonna happen is we get machines back in there, we build that retention pond as per the plan. And then we've got some erosion control to put down before we start building, so.
Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that you're not gonna put the building up and then do the retention. Water mitigation will be done first before you put the building up.
That's correct, yeah.
That will be a contingency on any approval.
Yeah.
Okay, we talked about this in the past and it didn't work out that way.
I don't know what you mean.
Okay.
I just said we'll build this retention pond first, and that's per the plan and per my summary or my statement that I provided.
And that's fine. That's what we'd like to see.
Okay. So you're good.
And then the only other thing we'd like to make sure that you're aware of is that before you can occupy that building when it finally goes up, that you need the certificate of occupancy from Mr. Ferrier.
Only comes after you all approve everything that's built on site. And I'll get that approval in writing, correct?
Well, we'll give you an approval for the project for those two contingencies.
Yeah, no, I actually gave the contingency myself that it gets done by the end. I'm trying to get it done by the end of the year.
Well, you have a year to do it, so you've got plenty of time, but I'm just saying, whenever you do it, it's fine, but don't occupy it until Mr. Ferrier gives you a certificate of occupancy.
Sure. Easy. Nothing to it.
So. You can get a motion. I feel like that.
To accept the plan.
I'll make a motion with two contingencies that, he completes the stormwater runoff retention pond, and before he starts construction, and obtains a occupancy permit before using the building, once it's completed.
That's second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Good. Good job.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one,
No.
No.
64 moments.
okay.
Great. It's hard. Yeah, maybe what, you're gonna have to, Hi there.
You got 6 minutes.
6 minutes. Okay. I'll mark it, do this in 3 minutes.
My name is Mark Peterson and I'm here.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'm just finishing up on this one.
Oh,
Right. Okay.
Thank you. Oh, sure. That was not before that. Thank you.
All right, number 4 on the agenda
Okay.
is shoreline zoning. The shoreline zoning, rescinded, I think. Releasing that.
Yeah.
Releasing.
please stand.
Owner of the landing zone, LLC, is requesting to add a 250 square foot screen porch at 64 Mullins Bog Road, map 19, lot 55. Mark Peterson will be presenting. We want to make a note for the board that Mr. Peterson has provided us with additional information. The original drawing that he sent did not have dimensions on it, and we felt that we couldn't do anything or approve the plan that didn't have any dimensions on it. So that's all been changed, that's been added.
To have the updated plan.
And you have the updated plan in front of you, I hope.
Yep. I have it. I have an extra one.
Thank you. Beautiful. That's your, well, that's your.
That was the one, okay. So.
I mean, you've introduced the project perfectly. So, I don't really have much else to add. It's not building any taller than the existing house. It's or the existing camp. It's set back from the existing camp, which was I think grandfathered in. I think they tore down an old camp maybe 10, 15 years ago. I don't know the exact date. And then this, and my only other understanding is that having a separate screen porch structure would have been problematic.
Yes.
So just incorporating it into the existing structure, making it a cohesive camp was the goal.
Was any foliage, will any foliage be affected by this?
No.
The application falls under section 12, subsection C1, small c I, on page 5 of the ordinance. And the proposed addition, according to this, does not exceed the 1,000 square foot maximum. So I don't have any questions. Anybody else?
The reason the screen porch is attached to the house. If it was not attached, it would have to be moved to the back of the 100-foot. So by combining them, it's legal. So he's got the proper footprint, and he's got the proper setbacks from the abutters. It's really quite straightforward.
So, I'll make a motion that we accept the application as proposed.
Second,
Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful.
I don't.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Yeah, oh, this is going.
Just let me get a copy of that.
Do you have this thing that's actually in the only one?
that just goes in the back of your amendment,
Yeah.
the land before
Yeah.
and pay in a section not already there. There might be one, so do you have the new one? Joan, do you have the?
Yes, yes, yes.
So,
Is it the same date?
so make a motion to adjourn, please.
Make the motion, we adjourn.
I'll second
Same dates.
All in favor? We are adjourned. Thank you, guys.